Hello YouTube and welcome to this week's video. Not an Evolution Reviews this week because there's something else that I need to talk about. However, there will be another Evolution Reviews next week, hopefully. We'll see what happens. In today's video, yes, I am basically doing a bit of an update and also talking about some changes to what's going on. So some of you will just be watching this because it's come up on your feed or you're subscribed to the channel, which by the way, thank you. And for some of you, you will have been sent this, and I will get into why in a second. So, first things first, I announced on my Instagram ages ago, like ages and ages ago, that I was offering my services as an editor and a visual effects artist, and nothing happened for ages, and it's kind of just started to pick up now. However, I never announced anything on this channel, so that's what I'm doing today. So, yeah, finally I'm getting around to announcing it that I'm offering my services as a visual effects artist and as an editor to you, my audience. So yes, if you want any help with your projects, whether it be editing or visual effects, do get in touch. I'm going to link my email in the description, so if you do want to get in touch, do that. However, before you do that, watch the rest of this video because there are some important things that I'm going to be covering. So for any of you who've already been working with me on projects, this video also concerns you, and that is probably why you've been sent this video. So yeah, do watch the whole thing because there will be points in this video where I'll say stuff and you'll probably be put off and you'll back away from this. Don't. Please watch the whole video, hear what I have to say, and then kind of make up your mind on what you want to happen. So, let's get started. So, as of recently, I've been getting a lot more requests for help with editing, visual effects, and not only are there more of them, the actual nature of those requests is becoming a lot more complicated and a lot more time consuming. And you guys have to remember, I am currently at college, I'm also currently looking for a job, and I also have this channel and films and other stuff that I do, so there's a lot to juggle. So this is why I'm putting in this brand new system as of now, pretty much. So, this new system, now when I say this, some of you will be put off, but like I said, stick with me here, I'm going to explain it. So here we go. So, this brand new system I am introducing is a payment system. I said it, I said some of you were going to want to leave, don't do it, stick with me, I'm going to explain it. Right, so let's get started. So I'm going to break this up into 3 parts to explain all the different elements of this. So how this will work, what actual benefits paying for my services bring, and if you can't or don't want to, I'm not just going to go, nah, I'm not helping you. There is a system for that as well. So yeah, do stick around and I'm going to explain. So first of all, how this will work. So basically, if you want my help with the project, like I said, email in the description, get in touch with me. Basically, you will describe to me what you want my help with, whether it be editing or visual effects. You will describe what exactly it is you want me to be doing, what I need to be doing for this project, if this makes any sense at all. So yeah, so I've got a clear idea of what it is that you actually need from me. And then there will be a discussion about what I think is a fair amount for that task that you want me to do. So there isn't going to be like a flat rate across all projects because I don't think that's fair, because there's a lot of variation in the projects that I get, and also people are just in different circumstances, so I don't think it's fair for me to just do like a flat, this is how much it costs. So it'll be a one-to-one discussion between me and you about what you're able to pay, what I think is fair for the project, so that kind of thing. Also, something else important to point out is that if it's like a one-off thing, so you need an asset doing for your film, you need an animation doing or an effect in your film, or you want a title sequence doing or something like that, maybe some motion graphics for your channel, something like that, then that will be a payment for that thing that I'm doing. However, if it's a more drawn out process, so I'm editing your film or your series, that's slightly different, and the kind of negotiation process for that will be what I think is a fair rate, and then it will be that amount per, I don't know, hour, for example, the amount of time I spend working on it. So, I don't know, we would discuss a figure that you would pay per hour for the amount of time that I spend working on it, and I would keep track of how long I'd worked on it so that it was completely fair. So that's how it would work. Now, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just charging you for the exact same work that I was doing anyway, because that would feel unfair. So I've actually come up with, I think, some pretty decent perks for if you are going to pay for my services, and then we'll come on to if you can't or don't want to in a minute. So let's get started with that. So the first perk for if you are going to pay for my help is that me working on your project will be integrated into my working schedule. So it'll be a lot higher up on my list of priorities. It will literally only fall under college and my job when I get one. So yeah, it'll be a lot higher up on my list of priorities. I will actually allocate certain amounts of time to work on your projects during the week. So it will definitely get looked at. So yeah, it'll be a lot... No, shoot. Sorry about that. So yeah, like I was saying, it'll be a lot higher up on my schedule. It will get looked at sooner. And basically I'll be able to spend a bit more time on it, which brings me on to the second perk. Because I'm able to spend more time on it, it will be to a higher standard. I'll be able to look into new skills and also enhance the ones I currently have, so that the content and the work that I'm producing for you will be to a much higher standard, and I'll be able to spend more time getting just the little details right so it looks really professional and really good. And then the third perk, and the one that I think is probably the best, is because you are paying for this. So let's take, for example, you want a title sequence doing. I made a Doctor Who title sequence quite recently for someone, so let's just use that as a random example. So you've paid me to make you a title sequence, right? So everything in that title sequence will be made from scratch. So I won't use free to use green screen stuff from YouTube. It will all be made from scratch. So the TARDIS, the vortexes, all the animations and the names and the logos, everything made from scratch. Because of that, and because you are paying for that, those assets technically belong to you. So not only would you get the title sequence, but you would be given access to those assets. So you could have all of them if you wanted, but if you only wanted specific ones, they're yours, so I would send them to you. So I think that's probably the best perks, that you get access to not only what you wanted, but all of the assets that went into it. Now, obviously, if it's a film, if it's a bit longer, I can't imagine you would want all of them. If you did, cool, happy to send them all to you, but you would be able to pick and choose the specific assets from that film that you wanted. So yeah, like I said, you've bought them, so they're yours, and I think that that's probably the best one. So yeah, it would get looked at much sooner, so you would get it quicker, it would be to a much higher standard, and all of the assets would belong to you. Now, obviously, if you can't pay or don't want to pay, like I said, I'm not just going to then block you out and not help you. However, the system for that will be changing, because up until now, I've kind of just been doing what people ask. So someone will ask me for some help on something, I'll just go, yeah, sure. Whereas that's not really going to work anymore. So my nose really itches. So yeah, if you can't or don't want to pay, then here's the system for that. It's pretty much the opposite of if you are going to pay. So it will pretty much fall at the bottom of my schedule. So it will be college, work, when I found a job, people who are paying for me to look at their projects, my personal projects, so my films, YouTube content, my other visual effects projects that I've got going on, and then your projects. It will be an if and when I can basis. So it'll be, if I have the time to look at it, it will get looked at, but there won't be this sort of allocating time to it or anything like that. It won't be structured. It'll be, if I get a chance, I'll look at it. Second thing, because of that, the fact that it'll be an if and when I can, I won't be able to spend as much time getting all the little details right and making it look as good as possible. So I don't want to say it'll be rushed or it'll be to a lower quality, but I can't think of another way to put it. It just won't be quite as good as it would be if you were paying, which makes complete sense. I wouldn't be sat here on purposely trying to sabotage it, but it just wouldn't be to the same standard of work as if you were paying for it, if that makes sense. And then the obvious one being the third one is that because you haven't paid, those assets do not technically belong to you, they technically belong to me, so you wouldn't be given access to all the individual assets, it would just be what you asked for, essentially. So I hope that makes sense, and like I said, I did want to come up with some genuine perks if you decided to pay, but I also didn't want to, block off everyone who can't or didn't want to, but I did need to think of a way to balance it. So I think I've come up with a pretty fair system. So if I'm already working with you on a project, you will have likely been sent this video. So expect to hear from me soon, because we will need to have that discussion about payment in terms of how much it's going to be. What is it, a series that you want me to be doing, or just a one-off thing? And then that discussion will need to be had. But if we're not currently working together and you just happen to be watching this video, and if you need my help, do get in touch. Like I've said for now, the third time? Email is in the description. Get in touch with me, tell me about your project. I'll be happy to help, and we'll have the discussion about what I think is a fair amount compared to what you're able to pay. There'll be a negotiation process, and then hopefully reach a point that's fair for both of us, and then yeah, I'm happy to help. So I hope that video kind of explains where I'm at now. So this will be the system going forward. I hope it's fair. I hope I haven't put any of you off working with me, because I do really enjoy being able to do this. It's the reason that my skills are progressing so much. It's because I get the opportunity to do this so much. So I do really appreciate it, but I do kind of need to think about progressing this a bit further, because at the moment I'm kind of just doing lots and lots and lots of favours. So I hope you can understand why I've had to put this system in place. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and yeah, if you want my help, get in touch, and if you've been sent this video, basically just expect to hear from me soon. So yeah, thank you very much, and I hope to hear from some of you very soon.